Hello, hello, hello. It is Christine Michelle, and today is another episode of Quantum Codes, and we are going to talk about power. And what's going to be fun about the next couple of episodes is that we're going to go deeper into the four types of power and how this power can accentuate, help, create momentum, or whatever in your quantum manifestation, and how these different types of power can also inhibit your manifestation, which is going to be super cool. So let's talk about power. So there are four types of power. When we're talking about quantum manifestation, we're talking about you rapidly allowing things to unfold and change and manifest in your world. And then there are ways that you can go about it utilizing your human, beautiful humanness. And there are ways that you can really draw down and tap into power. There are different types of power, and there's different things that we can do to utilize these powers. And what we're going to talk about today is one of the powers that actually plays a role in rapid manifestation and shifts and changes and big things happening in your 3D world. It slows it down when you give your power away to this type of power, or when you're tapping into this type of power. So what is power, right? What is power? Power is your ability, right, to direct and influence things. And it also is your willingness or ability to behave in a particular way, right? And so there's a lot of there's a collective consciousness when it comes to power. You can look at power negatively. A lot of people are like, the wrong people have power. If this power is making me powerless, like we give our power away to, power and different types of things. And what I'm doing in this week is really in all of these quantum code episodes, is really to bring you back to knowing that there are four types of power. You can be in either one. You can also have several of them working together for you in your favor. And you can also give your power away in different ways, right? Nothing is better than the other. No power is like you should use this power and you should not use this power. None of that. None of that. Okay. So are you picking up what I'm putting down? So power, there's power that you've forgotten about. It comes in many forms. And if we talk about the four different types of power, there is circumstantial power, which we're going to talk about today. There is personal power, right? There is willpower, and then there's spiritual power. And what we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about them in an order of where we are limiting our manifestations, right? All the way to when we use it, we allow it to become even more powerful. Does that make sense? So today we're going to focus on manifestations. We're going to focus on like how this type of power can limit your manifestations, right? When we talk about power, it really does get a bad rap. You hear that it's not feminine. We get that people use it in bad ways and all of this stuff. We give our power away, right? To people, beliefs, situations, and what else? Circumstances. And so the first type of power that I'm going to talk to you about is circumstantial power. It's one of the number one powers that really limits your ability to manifest things greatly, really fast, to have things unfold in your physical reality very different than what you're seeing, feeling, smelling, tasting, and touching. And the reason why is because circumstances, right, is usually something that you can touch, usually something that you can feel, something that's outside of you. And when you give your power away to circumstances and allow it to yank your chain as to whether or not you're happy or sad, or whether or not you believe something is working for you, or whether or not you feel like something is unfolding in your favor, you end up slowing down things. You end up playing into the resistance, right? So what did I say? Manifestation is intentional receiving. And the only reason why you haven't received what you actually desire is what? Because there's resistance. Because this 3D world moves slower. It moves a little slower. Things take a little while to get to you, right? Because things in the spiritual are instant. And resistance, when you are playing into, well, the circumstances are showing me this, and this is proving this, and you're allowing it to decide whether or not you're happy or sad, or whether or not you truly are going to walk in the power of believing that what you desire is happening, then you are giving your power away to circumstances, and that's sitting in circumstantial power. And so it's one of the number one things that really help to limit your potential. It limits things unfolding into your reality super fast. It's when you're in circumstantial power, you crumble, right? Like something happens, it's outside of your control. You feel like you're absolutely powerless, when the truth is you have access to all of these other powers that I'm going to talk about. So it's really you giving your power away to what you could see, smell, hear, taste, touch, what you think you know in your mind, and you're not allowing yourself to tap into the greater powers that you have available. So I'll give you some examples. One, this is an example that everyone can probably relate to, and it's money circumstances. So low bank account balance, right? We give our power away to that balance. We're sad. Oh, things aren't working out for me. Oh, blah, 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 blah. All of those things. And the truth is, you made it mean something. You allowed the circumstances, right, to lead what that means for you. And you made these things mean something. When in actuality, a low bank account balance is just that, a low bank account balance. It means that there's more room for you to fill it up. It means that, oh, there's space now. I can receive even more. Or it means that it's low, and that is what it is. And now I can receive more. I can do things to allow myself to receive more money. But a lot of times we become sad, or we become angry, or we become frustrated, or we just allow ourselves to like have our chain yanked, right? We're sitting in a low emotional intelligence space. That's an example of us allowing the circumstances to determine things. What about, okay, you're a business owner, right? And let's say you created a new product or a program and no one has bought it yet. Oh my God, I have this program and I just launched it and no one bought it. It sucks, right? That's circumstantial power. You were so excited about this program. You were so gung-ho about it, this program or this product or this design or whatever you created. And now all of a sudden, because no one bought it immediately, all of a sudden you're just like down and out and going to be like, I'm so upset and it's not working and I need to just give it all up. That's you giving your power away to circumstances. That's you sitting in circumstantial power. That's you allowing external things to determine how you feel. And what did I say? Your key to the quantum soup, your key to connecting to what you desire and being the woman or person who has it is what? It's in your feelings. It's in your emotions. It's in you connecting and deciding that, no, I love this product. I love what I created. And if no one bought it, then maybe there's another reason why I created it. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. So I created this program and it was amazing. 300 people signed up. It was like the Yes Indeed Masterclass series. People loved it. I was on fire, y'all, on fire, right? On fire. I just knew everybody was going to buy it. Everybody was going to buy these programs that were all attached to this masterclass series because I was amazing. Guess what? One person bought. One person bought. And I was like, what's going on? Like, what happened? But instead of allowing those circumstances for me to say, well, this one person bought, I just give it up. I'm never going to do this again. Instead of doing that, what did I do? I called the one person who bought and said, well, I must have created this just for you. So let's go ahead and make this a one-to-one. And we're going to talk about these things here for you. This is for you. And so This person got a one-to-one situation with me. And guess what? This person has been a one-to-one client since then and has paid my higher investment to work with me. She's invested in herself, invested in her business, and now she's got a six-figure business that is becoming a multi-six-figure business because of that one investment. And because I created this program that I thought thousands of people were going to buy and one person bought, and I made it amazing for her. But if I was in the circumstances, I could have canceled it, refunded her the money, just been like, nobody bought. This was supposed to be a group program. This was going to last for days and all of that stuff. I could have done that. But that would have been me what? In circumstantial power. You know, I have another client, very single, wants the love of her life, is ready for that in her life. And she, went on a date, and that date did not go well at all. It was the worst date ever. Now, she could have used that to say, that's evidence. There are no good men out there, and I'm going to be single forever. Right? That would have been her sitting in circumstantial power, being sad because the date was awful and it's showing me that there's no one out there and blah, blah, blah. Right? Or she could say, you know what? Hey, that situation was that situation. And that taught me or showed me what I do like or I don't like. And now I know what I do like even more. And I know that there's someone out there or someone's out there that are there for me. Do you see? I mean, where are you allowing the circumstances to determine how you feel? Like I said, it's not that one of these powers are better or worse than the other. It's just that this is one power that when you tap into it, it does slow down things from unfolding. We're human. We are often going to let circumstances to sway us often. But when you have the awareness that, oh my goodness, I'm allowing this circumstance to determine how I feel, that's when you have the power to decide, okay, let me slow myself down, slow my roll, let me tap into my heart. Okay, this is what's happening. This is what the circumstances are telling me. And now what do I decide? What do I decide to feel? What do I decide to believe? What am I deciding today? Are you feeling what I'm saying? So you can either allow what you're seeing, what's happening, all of that to determine how grounded you feel, or you can tap into breath and you can say, I'm going to decide. I'm not going to let these circumstances decide. That's going to be you stepping into one of the other powers we're going to talk about. So where are you allowing circumstances and what's happening, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, what you're experiencing, what you think you know to determine how you move forward in life? Where are you allowing society and pressures and other people's beliefs and other people, what they're going to think and what caring what other people think and what could happen, blah, 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 from stopping you from taking the action that you know you're meant to take? Are you feeling me? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Circumstantial power is a limiting power because it's limited by circumstances, and limited by your five senses. It's limited by what you think you know. So where are you allowing what you think you know to stop you? Now, like I said, there's 4 different types of power, and circumstantial power is the power when you're in it the most. It is the power that's going to slow down the quantum soup. It's going to slow down things unfolding into your life very rapidly because you're only tapped into what you see, smell, taste, touch, know. Okay. What you get to do is recognize that. And so I created some soul work. It's got 3 prompts that I want you to tap into when you have time after this video to really allow yourself to start thinking and getting your mind to looking at, wow, where am I in my circumstantial power to become more aware of these circumstances? So the first prompt is, I desire X, whatever you're desiring to unfold into your life very quickly. Which circumstances am I giving my power away to? So for example, I desire, let's say somebody says, I desire a full and abundant bank account. What circumstances are you giving your power away to? whether people board your program or whether, this person is, you got this raise, or if you apply for this job and you wanted the newer job that's going to give you this new raise and didn't happen. Like, what circumstances are you allowing to hold you back from knowing that that is inevitable? Remember, your desires are inevitable. Number 2, the other prompt, if XXX, so whatever, does not happen when I expect it to happen, what do I choose to feel? So that's where you can tap into, wow, what am I choosing to feel? Like, if this date doesn't work out the way I wanted it to, am I going to be sad, disappointed, angry, right? And make up all of these stories that make it about me, make all these stories and make it about me. Make it why I'm not good enough, or why this thing can work for me, and all these things. What stories are you allowing circumstances to create for you versus you creating the story you want? We talked about that. Okay. So then number 3 is, if I wasn't allowing the external to determine how I feel, what would I choose? This is going to get you into you tapping into some of the later powers that we're going to talk about. Does that make sense? So, like I said, circumstantial power is all based on what's happening externally. Your power is within you. And when you're allowing circumstances to like yank your chain, and when you're allowing circumstances to make you feel happier or sadder or this or that, and you're allowing this thing to like move you, right? When you're allowing that, then where are you? You're not grounded. You're not tapped in. You're allowing all of these things to come at you, and you'll feel up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Does that make sense? So how can you allow yourself to feel more certain? How can you allow yourself to feel more tapped into what you know gets to happen? Right? And so this is what is important for you. We talked about know what the 4 types of powers are. Circumstantial power is the power that, if I had to rate them, which we're not rating them because nothing is better or worse than the other. It's just that which one do you want to be in? You've got choice. But if I had to put them on a pedestal, it would be circumstantial power, willpower, personal power, and spiritual power. That's what it would be. And so if you're here with circumstantial power, now you get to choose how you want to utilize this circumstantial power in your favor. How do you use circumstantial power in your favor? Does that make sense? So if there are circumstances that are happening around me and I'm seeing some things, I get to say, oh my goodness, that's happening in my favor. Ooh, look at that, right? Because I could use what I'm seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, and experiencing in my favor. Right? So remember, I talked about looking for evidence, finding evidence, creating evidence, all of those things. And so if I'm just a circumstantial power kind of girl, I get to start to look at how the circumstances are working in my favor and use that to propel my manifestations. Do you see? So if I'm going to just let myself be yanked and moved around by the circumstances, then I get to use it in my favor. So you see how I said they're not all bad. It's just about how you're utilizing them. And most of us, most humans, utilize circumstantial power to look at what's not working. Oh my goodness, that's proving to me I'm not enough, or that worked out bad, so I'm going to be sad. Instead of saying, okay, look at those circumstances. Yeah, that's working in my favor. Which is going to be pulling in some of the other powers into you allowing yourself to build up the circumstances that's happening. Does that make sense? It's all going to come together after we have our last discussion on power. In the next episode, we're going to talk about willpower. We're going to talk about utilizing willpower to do things, to experience things, to push things forward, right? Willpower is very efforting. We're going to talk about that. Then the next episode, we're going to talk about personal power, and then we'll talk about spiritual power, and then bring all of these together on how we get to utilize these things in your favor right? To allow yourself to manifest things in your life.